Welcome to the Popcorn Talk Network, for the online broadcast network that features movie discussion, news, and interviews. Press 1.
Popcorn Talk. We talk movies.
Congratulations. On behalf of the Popcorn Talk Network, the online broadcast network for movie talk, and the Schmoes know, you are now a member of the Jedi Alliance. May the Force be with you. Always.
As Chewbacca once said, "Ah!" which might mean hello.
Wise words.
We don't know. Welcome to Jedi Alliance, a celebration of the greatest saga ever told. I am one of your hosts. My name is Joseph Scrimshaw, and you are...
I am another one of your hosts, the Internet Soapbox Mark.
Excellent. So we're going to be talking a little bit about The Force Awakens today. Isn't that right, Mark?
That and the... It's the box office. It's all about the box office. How much of a record will it be? How much will it beat Avatar and other questions along those same lines?
Or will it at all? Are we being cocky?
Oh, I would like to think that we are, but it's Star Wars.
Yeah.
Come on.
There's some famous Star Wars quote about being cocky, isn't there?
Somewhere, maybe.
Don't get, is it? I think.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch 1, 2, and 3 again.
Yeah, we'll look it up on the internet.
Probably
Yeah, it's definitely in the prequels for sure. That's where that quote is from. Come here for all of your most accurate Star Wars quotes here on Jedi Alliance. We have some great guests for you here today. We have Jenna Busch.
Hello.
And making his triumphant return, we've been trying to get him back for a while. We're so happy that he's here, Mike Black.
Hi, everybody.
Can you guys tell a little bit about to the people listening and watching about who you are and what you do?
Okay, I am the founder and editor-in-chief of Legion of Leia, which clearly means I like Star Wars. I am the co-host of Most Craved. I have written a bunch of comic books, I do a bunch of shows, and I am the co-author of a couple of chapters in Star Wars Psychology, Dark Side of the Mind, Game of Thrones Psychology, The Mind is Dark and Full of Terrors, and Star Trek Psychology. I don't know the second part of that yet.
The subtitle?
Yes.
That's fine.
So it's just Star Trek Psychology : something.
No, there is one. There is one. I just haven't memorized that one yet.
Excellent. I will forgive you for that, since
Thank
you
you.
have your credits more memorized than anyone that I ever talked to on any podcast.
Yeah,
And
this is
it's
going to be a
awesome.
letdown now. Man,
Mike Black, what do you do, man?
Well, when I'm not at home eating tacos, I perform at the Comedy Store. I've watched Star Wars almost nonstop since I was 3. I once ate 6 bags of Doritos to get a translucent Obi-Wan action figure and did that in one day and mailed it off the next day. And I collect all sorts of action figures, and that's pretty much it. That's the nerdiest stuff I can come up with.
No, that's great. That's very well-rounded. Yeah.
That's the best resume
I'm very well rounded.
Yeah.
It's the Doritos. I would hire you immediately from that resume.
Yes.
Oh, good.
Definitely.
Expert comedian, can eat the hell out of Doritos.
Yeah.
Hired
And tacos.
as a kick-ass Terminator 2
Must hire.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes, that's true.
Yes.
I got that this week also.
An action figure.
Yes.
You don't have an
I
actual
don't actually
Terminator.
have Arnold in my home.
Okay.
It's like
That's going to affect
He
it
might
a
be
little
getting
bit.
desperate.
I might be able to trick him at some point, but not yet.
Excellent.
Fingers crossed, everyone.
Well, we're going to ask you some returning guest questions,
Sweet.
Mike Black. And Jenna, feel free to weigh in if you like, but you've answered these questions
I have
relatively
but,
recently.
You know, I could change my answers.
That's right. So,
Always in motion, the future.
so, Mike, what piece of Star Wars technology would you want to have in real life?
Back to tank.
Oh,
That'd
that's
be the
a-
way to go.
Yeah.
Like, because I'm always getting stuff chopped off or paper cuts and whatnot. And it'd just be good to be able to just jump in there anytime I've hurt myself.
Just imagine like get in the tank.
I'd start doing it
float
for
around.
fun. Is
yeah, I
the
was going to say,
problem.
that
I'd
seems
start-
dark, like you'd maybe paper
Yeah.
cut your hand on purpose.
Yeah, like I'd win a lot of bar bets. You know, it's like, I bet I could live through that. You'll see.
Yeah.
Someone roll up my back to tank quick.
It seemed like you'd maybe have like a hand-size one for the paper cuts.
I
Like a
would
little
like
palm olive
if
dish
you
of
could have
vodka.
a mobile back to tank like that you could put in your car. That'd be great.
It's like a back to kiddie pool.
Yeah.
Roll around and
Yeah, a little slip and slide. Buck to slip and slide.
I'd start using it for no good reason. Even, like if I hadn't moisturized that day, I'd just get in the back to tank. Oh.
So many mental pictures.
I'd have the filthiest back to tank by the end of the month too. Like, people would be like, "Dude, you got to clean that thing out."
Oh man, I got a disease from one Bacta tank, so I had to get in another Bacta tank.
What people don't know is if you leave your hair in a back to tank for like a year, it grows a new you. So you have to be careful.
Cloning technology
Be very careful.
revealed.
Yeah.
But that means you can get through 12 bags of Doritos.
Yes.
clean out a gutter.
Eat myself out of my apartment.
So, Mike, if you turn to the dark side, what would your Darth name be?
After all this talk, probably Darth Calories. Something like that.
The most feared man in the galaxy.
Darth Gluttony.
Yeah. If you spelled calories with a Z, it would maybe seem a
Darth
little evil.
Calories.
Calories. Yeah, and a K for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. This is probably one of the most important questions.
Oh, no.
Darth Calories. What Star Wars animal makes the best noises?
To me, this is so standard, but it's Chewbacca. He makes, like, out of everybody.
Do it.
It really. You put me so on the spot.
Do it.
That's the worst Chewbacca.
That was literally the best.
The best.
The best.
Worst.
You know who does the best Chewbacca ever is Jamie
Chewbacca?
Alexander.
Oh, really?
Yes, I was
Really?
sitting. Jeff and I were sitting with her at the Critics' Choice Television Awards, and Jeff does a very good Chewbacca.
And
but
Jeff is your fella, right?
Yes, he is. And they did he and Jamie Alexander had a Chewbacca off. There's video proof of this. She also licked my Star Wars bag. There's photographic proof of this.
Okay, well, I'm not going to ask Mike to see how good he is at that.
It's weird.
I have
You
a Star
feel
Wars
like
bag.
you feel it in your nose when you're gonna do a good Chewbacca. Does anyone else feel that way? Where you're like, oh, this one will sound
Yeah,
right.
I thought you were very good.
And when
Like-
you put me on the spot, I was like, I don't have it. It's not in
My
there.
nose is
Whatever,
not tingling.
whatever magical thing makes the Chewbacca noise is not in there right
It
now.
was a really good lumpy. It was a little shy, a little dejected. Lumpy
Is that
from the holiday special.
I was just gonna say from the holiday special.
Aw.
But yeah, like his actually felt like a language. Like when he laughed, it sounded different, and it's
Yeah, there's good emoting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that to me is what makes Star Wars noises. Is they have to sound like actual stuff,
Like, not just pulling from sound effects.
Yeah.
Which Star Wars character do you think smells the best?
Probably 3PO.
That's what I said.
I would think he seems like he would care the most about smelling good.
Yeah.
You
Protocol
know,
droid.
Yeah, he needs to smell
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
like aside from when stuff happens where he gets like slime thrown at him or something like that, but
It's
like
most of the time.
Yeah, he's
like
Sure.
on an
full of
average
sand and
day,
spit on.
yeah, 3PO probably, and I think that would probably be part of his programming. Like for a protocol droid, they have to communicate with everyone.
Right, there's probably
I
a
would
race
think-
that communicates through smells.
Right. So they probably have to at least clean themselves once a day or something. R2 I don't think is quite as tidy. I don't think R2
Nah.
No, he's a dirty little
cares at
mechanic.
all. Yeah.
He is. He goes out drinking a lot. You can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
He,
like-
he keeps a large load of grease to shoot at other
Oh,
robots.
that's true.
He does. He's real dirty now that I think about it.
Dexter Jetster of the droid community.
R2 might smell the worst out of everyone.
He's seen some stuff.
Yeah.
He's just like, no, I don't even want to.
And his attitude is kind of like, screw you, I'm a war hero.
Yeah,
I do
absolutely.
whatever
He's a
I
veteran.
want.
I'll tell you stories or not if I don't feel like it. Yeah. We've
crafty
covered a lot
veteran.
of Star Wars fluids very early on here in the podcast.
I saw 4 astromechs die one day while I was working on his ship. I can do whatever I want.
So you ask me if I want to warp to that planet again.
Oh my god.
I was thanked by a queen.
I like that he's almost maybe from the Bronx.
Kind of.
Yeah, I'm R2-D2.
He's seen a lot.
He's pissed because the droids didn't get medallions. They didn't get any medals.
Now
They
look
got
at-
I think he
shined
shies away from it. Yeah.
Now I'm looking at the little periscope on the front of him, and it looks more like a stogie after we've been talking about it.
Yeah,
I do
totally
whatever I
does.
want.
Yeah, there wasn't enough room for my R2D2 tape deck. That's exactly what it is, and it's amazing.
Is it an actual cassette?
It's an actual cassette
so he
player.
can have actual data tapes?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. All right, Mike, next question. Would you use a Jedi mind trick to get out of a speeding ticket?
That's the least of the things I'd use it for. I'd use it for shoplifting. I like just anything I wanted.
Really?
Like every day I'd use it on my parents to tell them when to call me, like, and when not. I'd trick them into thinking every week, my birthday's coming up, at the end of the week, so you should probably send a little cash this way.
There's a new Black Series coming out.
Yeah.
and
Is it difficult to convince your parents to call you?
No, well, you've heard my answers. It's not easy.
We can't call him. He might be eating Doritos.
I'm hard to love. I'm not easy to love.
You are one of the most lovable people I've ever met. You're a human R2-D2.
Thank you so much.
Where's your cigar?
Yeah, where's your cigar, buddy?
I'll have after the show. I'll have one.
And final question: will you cry during The Force Awakens?
I cried during Phantom Menace, but not for the
that's-
reasons I wanted
that's
to.
a different kind of crying.
But I'm hoping this time it'll be a positive cry.
Yeah.
It'll be like, I didn't get sunburned in front of the Chinese theater for this sort of cry. It'll be like an actual good cry.
Did you
know?
emit actual tears during the Phantom Menace? I mean, I understand the spirit of what you're saying,
I was
but
real bummed.
Yeah.
I was like,
if you add the physical duress that it sounds like you went through.
It wasn't so much a cry. It was more after the credits were done and you heard that little Vader breath at the end,
Yeah.
which was supposed to make it all better. After that, I just went,
Okay.
I guess we should go. And then, me and everyone else left the same way.
There was a lot of processing after the
Yeah.
midnight viewing.
I had that delayed reaction where I was like, no, I must have misunderstood.
Yeah.
Like,
I gotta see it again.
I saw it wrong.
I gotta see it again.
I saw it wrong.
And at this point, I do feel like I saw it wrong, but it took me about 15 years.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
my personal journey that we've talked about before. Not everyone's
Yeah, it was
experience.
like abuse. It
But
was
do you think?
like,
Do you think, in all seriousness,
blame
do you think
yourself.
you will openly weep during The Force Awakens?
I think this movie has more potential to make me do that
Yeah.
than most movies. And I've choked up over pretty dumb stuff in movies. Like I get caught off guard by like someone doing something great and I'm like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." You know? And so,
They're
and
just
then
being
there's-
nice to someone.
Well,
Yeah.
honestly, when I saw the preview and there was just that subtle change in the John Williams score where it
Yeah.
starts rising and building, I got misty during that. So
Yeah.
if the movie is anything like that, and I feel like it will be, I'll probably squirt out some tears. Like,
Do
That's
it.
the least. Do it.
yeah,
Cry. Do it right now. Weep like a baby.
yeah. If Ian McDermott is sitting next to me, definitely.
I will
This is
cry
quite
out of
emotional, isn't it?
joy and tears.
Isn't it?
You want to
Cry.
All right, those are excellent answers, Mike Black. Darth
Thank you.
Calories with a K. So we're going to move on to news from the Holonet. One of the fun bits of news that we saw was the rumor floating around that Hayden Christensen is in training for some kind of appearance in Episode 8.
Oh,
So, panel,
yes.
do we think this is a good idea? Do we want this? How could it be a good thing?
No.
Really?
No.
How could it be a good thing is the answer. No.
No, it just
All right,
can't.
why do you feel that way, Jenna?
Oh God! All right, I know I'm gonna get yelled at for this, but
please.
I did rewatch the prequels when I was writing the book, and I just think the man, at least then, had no chemistry with anyone, none. Now I know it's been quite a number of years, and things may have changed, and I suppose the idea of him being there in some weird way that they maybe can explain would be interesting.
Yeah.
But I just have this bad feeling. I just, please,
Yeah.
I
A
don't.
bad feeling about this.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a good idea.
You're afraid that he is going to be wooden in whatever
Yes.
capacity he shows up.
Yes, and like I know everyone has a great affection for it. I know there are a lot of people who really, really love the prequels, and I'm totally cool. That's totally cool. I sat there on the lead up to Force Friday because I was one of those crazy people who sat in front of my computer and watched all of the announcements and the unboxing and all that stuff. And everyone was joking about Hayden this, Hayden that, and it was all over the place. So, I mean, I understand why they would do it, but I don't want them to.
Yeah. Mike, what do you think?
Well, it's not like he's done a bunch of sensational movies since, so it's not. I don't see how he could improve. Like
Yeah.
he hasn't had anything to practice on. And,
Anything that we've heard of.
Yeah, anything that anyone's seen.
I have
anyway.
interviewed him for a movie, but I don't remember what it was. I know T.I. was
That's
in
not
it.
a good sign.
No, T.I.
That's also not a good sign.
T.I. was on that carpet, and so was Snoop Dogg, and I remember more of what they said.
Yeah.
But
So Snoop Dogg was more animated than Hayden Christensen?
yes,
Yeah, what I would rather see is if you're going to do the Ghost Obi-Wan sort of thing, I'd much rather see Darth Vader. Like
Yeah.
a full, maybe like that white Darth Vader from the comics where the suit is all white, you know, and I'd much rather have James Earl Jones' voice back
Yeah.
than Hayden Christensen back at all.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if I could choose, you know, I didn't like it. I didn't like anything he did. I wasn't wild about Jake Lloyd either. You know, so I don't see. They're building such good momentum on these movies by separating them so much from the prequels.
Yeah.
that this seems like a bad idea.
Yeah.
If it's true, it's probably just a rumor, but if it's
Yeah.
true, I see it as a publicity victory lap that they
Yeah.
started by distancing themselves from the prequels. that now they're like, no, we're doing well. Everybody trusts us
so
that we
well.
have this in hand, and we'll talk about that more when we talk about the box office.
Don't do
but I mean,
that.
in the
Don't.
books, in all of in Rebels, they might be distancing themselves from the prequels, but they're not distancing themselves from the prequel era. They're
Right.
not
Right.
distancing
Yeah.
themselves from the Clone Wars at all.
Well, no,
Yeah.
because that's the thing is Hayden has to live up to that Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah,
Right.
someone
So,
we've come to
yeah.
know and love. Yeah. What do you think, Mark?
I think it's an interesting idea. I'm a big fan of redemption. This could be the chance that he's been waiting for all these years to be like, no, I deserve to be this character. I deserve to have been cast. All this. So I think it may not just be physical prep. He might be going to classes. He might be doing more to make sure that this appearance cements him as, you know what, that wasn't a bad idea to cast me at all. After all.
And if they make it work, if they make anything work, I'll accept it. I always feel like that about movies. Like I can talk about whether or not I think they'll be good or if I think they'll suck, but I will still see them. And if they're good, then do whatever you want. If you make it work for me, I'm fine. But
Yeah.
I just don't.
I would
see
be
how
thrilled if it was a short, emotional scene, some sort of communication with Skywalker children or heirs that we haven't met yet.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of experience in doing theater stuff as an actor and a director. And theater can be hard to get a good actor, to get a bad actor to give a good performance. But film, a good director only needs to get a couple of good shots.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
good director who knows exactly what they want and knows how to talk to an actor.
Yeah.
But that
So
was
if
one
it's
of
a
the
short,
let alone-
emotional powerhouse scene, what a story of redemption, like you're
That
saying
could
that would
work.
be.
That could work.
That was not the case with the prequels. Is they had an editor's director instead of an actor's director,
Yeah.
as opposed to
Right.
JJ,
Yeah.
who could probably really evoke something. And I think it'll be more of a thing for Kylo Ren than the Skywalkers maybe.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it totally
Yeah.
could be. And
Yeah.
I mean, I think that it may not have been completely his fault because Natalie Portman, bad performance. Samuel L. Jackson, bad performance. Ewan McGregor, bad performance.
No, I will
Yeah.
flip 1,000
Now, see,
tables.
I
I
know.
cannot begin to agree with you.
Episode 1, I'll agree with
Yeah,
you. But
episode
he
1 is what I'm
started
talking
going,
about.
this is ridiculous. I'll just go with it. And then
Yeah.
he just started doing what
No,
he wanted.
episode 1 is
seemingly.
where he bothers me. But I love all of those people.
I think a lot of it
outside
is going
this.
to come down to the dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is
That
going to be
I'd
better.
imagine is going to be much, much
More
better.
than
yeah.
one writer,
Yeah.
a better director.
Yeah.
Already things are looking up.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Speaking of looking up, we heard a rumor, well, not a rumor, John Landis has kind of confirmed that George Lucas told him over the weekend or this last week that Disney is going to release the original theatrical trilogy on Blu-ray. This has been a rumor that's been going on since Disney bought them and a wish that all of the fans have wanted. So what do you think? How soon will this arrive on the market?
Not soon enough. Really, that's all I've wanted for like 15 years now, since the VHS ones left, and they started doing the special editions on that. I can't wait to see the originals again. I would love it if they would remaster them, if they're allowed to do that. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
do you believe
Yeah.
this? I mean, because it is John Landis is telling us that George Lucas told him. It's pretty much
No,
just
this is
like
secondhand.
this is
Yeah.
passing a
John-
note in gym class.
John
Yeah.
Landis is a pretty trustworthy guy, but
Yeah,
it's still
I-
not. He doesn't work for Disney.
I don't see why John Landis would bring it up otherwise. Like, what does he gain from it?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's like
Yeah.
Palpatine level manipulation.
Yeah, I don't really see him getting a lot out of it unless it's true.
Cool.
And it's more like, I think he probably brought it up in frustration, like George Lucas was like, "Can you believe they're going to do this?" And John
I'd like
Landis
to
was
think that
probably like,
he's
"Yeah, you
that he's
dummy."
at this point like whatever. I let it go. Not my circus. Not my
Right.
space monkeys anymore.
I got my money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a copy of them. I mean, it's just a lot of people have them. They
Yeah, I have them on
exist out
DVD. They're
there,
not
yeah.
like
Yeah.
super well
They're not
remastered.
perfect, but I mean, if they come out, yes, I will give you more of my money.
Yeah, particularly if they remaster them.
Oh,
If they-
Do you?
know.
So do you believe the rumor, Jenna?
Yeah, I kind of do.
You'd
I
like
kind of
to.
do. Yes, I would like to, but I also kind of do, actually, because I feel like the new opportunities to make more money, that's something that,
Yeah.
George Lucas
Disney's kinda
and
into that.
Disney and
You can tell by the diamond edition of Robin Hood that comes out for the 4th time and that I have every version of.
Is it actually made of diamonds?
I wish. No, but it's like the gold version, the diamond
No,
version.
they have the diamond version because we just gave them all our money.
Yep.
Do they still do like they used to, where they would blackmail you? Like,
Back into the
it's
Disney
going back to the
vault.
vault
They
forever.
don't say it
They
overtly.
don't anymore, but they kind of imply.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's
It's like-
some new thing on them this time, and
But that's the
Oh,
thing
okay,
about
yeah.
what special feature would you want to see on these Blu-rays? What new special feature or old one?
I'd be happy with all the Laserdisc stuff if they put all of that back on there.
I would want from Star Wars to Jedi.
Yeah.
Well, they'll never put the People versus George Lucas on there, but that would be really interesting.
I think that would be a little cruel.
Oh, it would be, but also funny.
It's hidden on the menu. You have to find it.
Yeah, just an animated GIF of people kicking George Lucas when he's down. How about that?
They'll never do this, but the Christmas special would be great to have.
Do you think they
maybe the Muppets episode? You know, that would be
Except that I don't like Miss Piggy at all, and I never have, and I was really upset when she was Princess Leia.
Every time that we're about to move on, you bring up something controversial. So your timing, Jenna, is perfect because we have to move on.
I don't like Miss Piggy.
Today's is a 2-part Jedi Alliance. I would love to talk even more about it, but we got a lot of show to get to.
Yeah, we'll bring Princess Leia back in, or not Princess Leia, but Miss Piggy. We're gonna
talk the bombshell that you hate the voice of Yoda.
Quick Princess Leia news. This is mostly just fun news, not big earth-shattering Star Wars news. Princess Leia, of Princess Leia's bikinis is up for auction, and they estimate that it's going to go for $80,000 to $120,000. So simply tell me, how much would you guys pay for one of Princess Leia's metal bikinis?
My left arm.
Oh, that sounds good.
I don't have that much money, so.
But then it'll keep falling off.
Well, I mean, maybe from like here down.
All right.
Fine.
Okay. That'll work.
Mike Black, which body part would you give?
It's not that I'd give a body part. It's I need to know more.
You need a certificate of authenticity, or
how much cocaine is still in the bikini?
Right. That will drive up the value.
Because that makes a significant difference in how much I'd pay for it.
Let's say
how much more or less?
Yeah,
how much more?
A kilo? A kilo? Is a kilo good?
A kilo. $5,000. $5,000.
You really underbid. Okay. Yeah. Mark, how much would you pay?
Low bid.
I mean, everything that I will possibly make in the future, maybe, which isn't a lot.
Yeah,
so it's not really a good deal for whoever I'm paying it.
So you're pulling a David Bowie. It's against future earnings.
Exactly. 10% or 5%. I'll give you 5% of the rest of my stuff.
I would pay my future earnings that I somehow make off the bikini.
Yeah.
Like wearing it. $5 to see me in the bikini. It's just I'm in a little booth and I get $5 for one person to come in at a time and look at me wearing the bikini. I would make so much.
We'd pay a lot more for that.
As the line's waiting outside, they just hear a lot of "You tricked me."
All right, shall we move on to our main topic of the day?
Let's do that. The deadline box office prediction of The Force Awakens has it at domestically $300 million and global $600 million. Is that too low? Is that too much? What are general thoughts of how much it's going to make?
Oh, I think opening weekend is just going to it'll destroy any competition. Because I just think there's so much curiosity about it. I don't think this is one of those movies where people are going to say, you know what, I'll just see what everyone else thinks. No, you're going to go opening weekend because it's Star Wars and you don't want spoilers, and there's no way it isn't going to break every record. Yeah. I don't think it's possible.
The only way it won't break every record is if it just isn't playing at enough theaters.
Yeah.
And I don't see that happening. I think it's going to hit capacity. Like whatever tickets are available are going to get sold.
Yeah.
For opening weekend.
How early on like a Thursday do you think they're going to start screenings for this?
7 a.m.
Yeah, probably.
Like bright and early.
Yeah,
I mean, they're just going to break the idea of release date.
Legally can.
Yeah.
It seems like they're either going to do that or actually just go back to their aren't previews. It's midnight.
Well, they've already started doing that, like with video games. Mm-hmm. Like for the Mad Max game, it was supposed to come out at midnight.
Came out at 9.
And they were like, well, it's midnight in New York, so they'll find some sort of trick like that. Hey, in Hong Kong.
Yeah, it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Right.
Hawaii gets their games at like 3 p.m.
Right. No, it's opening early in Europe, so it's opening on the 16th, I think.
Yeah.
So I mean, it wouldn't
avoid the internet.
I know.
For 2 days.
Oh, I'm not. Yeah, no, I will.
There's got to be a block
anything.
Europe button on Twitter. I'm going to find it. So
mute Europe.
For fun, when the movie actually comes out, I want us to each make actual number predictions.
Okay.
So, Mike, are you willing to start?
I'm bad at math.
I'm
so
terrible
I'm going
at
to
this.
ballpark $50 billion.
$50 billion. Okay.
Sounds about right.
$700 billion.
Oh, come on, Jenna.
No, I suck at this. I can never come up with box office stuff.
What's the record
think
right now?
There's literally nothing at stake in this game.
What is the current record?
The current record is, I believe, 207 million. I might have that slightly wrong from Jurassic World. For domestic opening weekend.
207?
Yeah.
500.
So you think it's going to be 500 million?
More than
and
double that.
One of the things that is giving pundits some doubt is the biggest December opening is something like 84 million. So like nowhere near the numbers that we're
No one's
talking
got
about.
anything to do, though. And it's Christmas break.
Yeah, I think people are just going to be like, screw my family, I'm watching Star Wars. Or
they'll take their
Yeah.
whole
They'll take
family.
That's the
with
thing.
me.
Is
That's
this is one of the few just multi-generational movies where you're going to see families of 10, groups of 15 going and getting
Yeah.
group tickets, school field trips because teachers don't want to use one of their days off and just take kids to see Star Wars.
Yeah. Load up grandma.
Everybody.
You
School
think it
buses.
has the irresponsible teacher audience?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
If any movie has the irresponsible teacher audience, it's this one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Alvin and the Chipmunks 4, I believe, is also opening that weekend.
Is anything really opening that weekend?
I believe I could have this wrong.
Are you
I think I
serious?
read that Alvin and the Chipmunks 4, which is
Oh,
probably going to
that's-
put a little of the kid in.
Well,
But-
although they'll get the people who don't make it in.
yeah.
Yeah.
I would not. That's no way to
that's-
comfort me.
That's what it's going to be.
Chipmunks.
Oh, I didn't get into Star Wars? Well, I'm here. I might as well watch Alvin and the Chipmunks
I would
4.
sit in
Totally.
Alvin and the Chipmunks and watch an old Star Wars movie on my phone.
If you
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
see what kids turn into criminals in the future, to look at the kids coming out of Alvin and the Chipmunks the day that Star Wars opens.
Okay, I want to finish these actual predictions though, Mark.
Yes,
so do you
yes,
have
yes.
an actual money prediction?
I think it's going to be either 350. I'm going to say 375.
375
So I want to say in between 350
million.
and 400 million. So,
Okay.
So 375.
I am going to say 214 million and 750.
That's oddly specific.
How many cents?
I think it is going to end up being 77 cents in honor of the Earth.
That's good. That's really good.
I think that's exactly
And
what's
just for
going to happen.
clarification, Jurassic World was 208,000 or 208 million.
208 million. Okay.
$806,270.
Okay. So yeah. So I think in order to beat it, I mean 500 million. Do you want to revise 500 million? That's double the biggest movie ever.
Yeah, I know. It'll probably be less than that, but I don't care. No.
All right, you're gonna end up winning this.
Okay.
I'll figure out some prize
what
to
I
give.
get?
$1, Bob.
Yeah, whichever one of us is most accurate will get a Photoshop picture of me in a slave play bikini.
All right.
Just sweeten the deal, Scrimshaw.
I'm sticking with $50
Soured
million.
the deal. Pray I don't alter it further. All right, so we talked about the guesses that exactly what it's going to make. Let's move on.
What could go wrong? So what could possibly happen to where it can't break a measly 200 million on opening weekend?
If the Hayden Christensen news gets out.
Yep.
If it
Gotta
really,
do it.
If it's like a post-credit scene, and everyone's
Yeah.
like, "I'm out of here."
if they really
Yeah.
heavily press that he's going to be in it.
Well, you know the funny thing is, I'm just now starting to hear people say, "All right, back off with the publicity a little,"
Oh, really?
which is
Yeah.
what I don't feel that way.
I think
But-
the general pundits of box officery think the actual promotion hasn't started.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as we get into November, sure, but I mean, I think that, and I'm not even talking about like film trailers and things like that. I'm talking about like toy hype,
Right.
Things like that, because I definitely have started to see all these people are buying BB-8s, and now what if he's the Emperor? And I'm like, it's not the Emperor. He's adorable. Shut up. I'm taking that from you. You know I'm not leaving this place
For those of
without
us
that.
listening on iTunes, Marx has a Sphero BB-8, and he is adorable.
I'm just
And
gonna-
if he told me to do evil things, I would probably listen to him.
I would totally listen to him. I totally would. But I think there's just a tiny bit of fatigue for people who aren't hardcore Star Wars fans.
Right.
Yeah.
Not for me.
So you think that fatigue could blossom into an actual resistance?
Not that much. Just a
Okay.
little bit.
Okay. Mark, what do you think could go wrong?
They gotta screw something up. Like there's gotta be like
Yeah.
they're gonna like flash a Confederate flag in one of the trailers on accident or something really stupid
Yeah.
Like
that could make people go. And just step away and step back. But even then, people will go, well, I've got to see it at least 3 times just to see where this frame
At least.
is.
Yeah, so you think like a publicity screw up? Do you think any level of creative screw up could affect the box office?
I don't think creative. It would have to be publicity.
Yeah.
But even then, Disney is so and Kathleen Kennedy is just they're everything with tweezers. Like nothing is being handled like, no, it'll sort itself out. No, everything is being handled with a fine-tooth comb.
Yeah.
I cannot take my eyes off BB-8.
I was just chilling.
Yeah, he's just kind of wobbling a little bit drunky.
Yeah.
This is great. If he keeps moving, I will report his actions for the iTunes listeners. Yep, still drunk. Yep, thinking about moving, but not.
No, drive him
still
right
drunk.
into my pocketbook. That'd be great.
I can't. Too close to the edge.
Teetering close to the edge. So, Jenna, you kind of touched on our next question, but do you think people will get tired of hearing about Star Wars we'll get to the point, I'm not talking about us, I'm not talking about like fans or probably anybody listening or watching this show, but just kind of normal humans who are like, yes, I'm aware of Star Wars, yep, Darth Vader is Luke's dad, got it, my kids like it, whatever. Normal humans. I know it's hard for us to imagine, but I talk to them sometimes because they're like, you talk about Star Wars all the time.
Yeah, I get a lot of that.
A person came up to me after one of my shows when I was on tour, and real nice guy, and was really nice about it. But like, I know Star Wars, I get it, but I'm not like a fan like you. Like, do you really think it's going to make that much money? Because I don't know if I'm going to go. Do you think there are going to be enough of those people who get to the point where like, I'm sick of all of you Uber fans just going nuts about it, that I'm going to actively not go on purpose?
What I see more likely to happen is them going, I don't want to be with a room full of nerds opening weekend.
Yeah,
I'll see it a week later.
Yeah.
And that, but, you know.
But they'll still go.
Most people like that are already like that and haven't affected opening week box office in a long time anyway.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, I was in this very tiny little wine country, snooty town a couple of weeks ago, which I love, but I saw like 25 Star Wars shirts in 10 minutes, and people I would never in a million years expect to be wearing Star Wars shirts. Old people, little tiny babies, I don't know why they were in Wine Town. It was really, really weird.
That is weirder than having Star Wars shirts. Little drunks. Little drunk babies.
Babies in Star Wars shirts. No, but I do, I mean, I'm sure there'll be a couple people who are like, I can't really take any more of this.
Literally
but,
a couple.
Yeah, a couple.
Across America.
Yeah, like I was down at Nashville Wizard World this weekend, and there were definitely people who are like, you know, I'm into this, but like my girlfriend isn't, or which is weird. Or I got one girl saying my boyfriend does not understand Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's like, then you need to break up with him. But so I mean, there are places around that are not. It's not the way I surround myself with Star Wars all the time.
Yeah, I think it could affect opening weekend if people get enough of the hype, they don't want to be there and be crushed by the super enthusiastic crowds, so that the film still does amazingly well. December movies are known for having legs and lasting a long time, so it might still like break, you know, the big box office numbers, but it might impact opening weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I think we'll be fine.
I have a feeling though we're going to draw more people than turn away.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people. I think there's a much greater nostalgia factor than this for this one than there was for the prequels.
Yeah, I think so too.
Just because everyone knows the actual characters involved this time,
Right.
and it's not like secondary characters like Chewbacca and 3PO and R2. You know, it's like the main leads are back.
And I also think there's the people like the legacy fans, I guess, would be a way to market that.
Oh, nice.
There's a lot of people who aren't subject to the new media, the social media, every single technological layer. They're just like, oh, there's a new Star Wars coming out. I'm going to get my family together and we're going to go see it. And they don't see every trailer. They don't see every single thing that we surround ourselves in. And I think that's going to make up for the people who are like, ugh, just enough with Star Wars already. Who should be taken out in the back and shot. But
Very violent podcast.
I agree.
I'm just saying.
If you don't like Star Wars, break up with people who do like Star Wars. Murder the other people.
I'm not saying. I know with Chewbacca's bowcaster Nerf gun.
All right, take them out and be shot.
Or a blaster.
Nerf shot.
Yes.
They should be Nerf shot. Excellent. So next question.
Yes. The next question that we got is, how many times are you going to go? Really? Are you willing to make up for the people who aren't going to go?
Yes. Yes, I am. Yes.
So how many times do you think? Like opening weekend.
Like realistically, I'll probably see it like 9 times before it leaves the theaters.
Right.
Is like
but
a
what about
realistic guess.
just opening weekend?
Just opening weekend, probably 4 times, something like that.
I'm actually about there too.
Yeah. If I can get the tickets.
Yeah, that's really what it'll come down to. Is if it's available for me to see 4 times, I'll see it 4 times.
Yeah.
How about you, Jenna?
I absolutely same thing. I'd see if I can get the tickets, and I don't know if Disney is doing screenings or not yet. The last person that I asked said they weren't sure about how they're handling it yet. I'm sure they are, but they didn't tell me.
There are some screenings already. Ken Knapsack has already talked about how he's scheduling, and we're trying to schedule some for us as well.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, I've heard, but then I've heard that they're not going to be like wide screenings and things like that. So we'll see what happens. But even if I go to those, I'm still going to pay.
Right. So how many times would you pay?
At least for the opening weekend.
Cool.
If I can. I mean, if there are tickets available, I will go.
Awesome. So you're at 4-ish.
I'm at 4 for opening weekend. I mean, I saw Guardians of the Galaxy 4 times its opening week, so I'm willing to give a movie as much money if it's good.
Right, because you're a Star Wars fan and a Disney fan, so you're going to double down on this.
I'm probably going to see it at Disneyland and at the El Capitan and just everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, that's a cool thing about being in Los Angeles, that there's theaters with specific ties. That El Capitan is a Disney theater that puts on a whole Disney show, and then of course Grauman's Chinese has the connection,
the history
to Star Wars, and then lots of other great
and there's
theaters.
IMAX theaters. There's the Cinerama Dome.
There's theaters that let you drink alcohol, which would be a dream come true
Those
for
are
me.
the best theaters.
Yeah, so I definitely want to see
Drunk
that.
Star Wars fans watching a new movie.
I think for myself, just as a fan, I would want to see it twice because I want to give myself processing time. So I'd like to just let it wash over me and then see it again to be a little bit more analytical. But there's a part of me that wonders if there's any doubt of it breaking the opening weekend, if I would spend money just as a sort of go team Star Wars thing. Like specifically to try to make it break the box office.
I don't know if you'll need to.
Yeah, well, that's what we're talking about today.
No, I mean, I don't think you'll need to. I think there'll be enough people who are going to go multiple times.
Well, let me ask that hypothetical. It's Saturday afternoon. The projections are saying clearly it's going to make 204. It is not going to beat Jurassic World. Would you then make it a priority specifically just so it breaks the box office to go?
What I would do is I would invite friends to come with me.
Okay.
On those 4 times that I'm going, and say, you guys have to come with me to see this, or I'll hurt you.
I'll take you back and nerf shoot you.
I would make obvious threats, not veiled ones.
Hurt you. It leaves them imagining, like, what is he going to do?
Yeah, I've never seen him be violent before.
He's got a Bacta tank, though, so he can fix us up afterwards.
Yeah. And he has a Toyota, so he could run us over.
I got a Toyota and a Bacta tank, so you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I have nothing to lose.
Wow.
So, that's what I would more likely do, is just invite more people rather than... I don't want to gorge on it. I don't want to see it so many times opening weekend that it all becomes kind of like a wash. Because I've done that. I've gotten over enthusiastic about other movies and kind of ruined them.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to do that with this.
What about you, Jenna? Would you actively go just to make sure it wins best box office ever?
I think I would just keep going to see it. I don't think I would do it specifically for that. Because first of all, I don't think that'll happen. But second of all, I think that it's... like my few dollars is not going to make that much of a difference. I think if it were like a big group of people, like let's go see it a couple more times. Probably.
How about you, Mark?
I wouldn't actively. I mean, just like Mike, I don't want to overexpose myself to that sort of a thing. Like with Guardians, I saw it with different people every single time. Like, you have to see this movie. Let's see this movie together.
And it gave it a different experience, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Completely different experience. Different theaters the whole
Yeah.
time. Yeah. So that's. I would be the same way. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
And again, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to be like, oh, you guys almost made it. It's Star Wars. I guess you guys aren't fans. People like dinosaurs better. No, come on.
No, they don't.
But that will be the headline in all of the press if it doesn't beat Jurassic World.
You're saying if like it's going to happen, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
All right, we'll see. My prediction is that it will, but I think I think we're possibly a little overconfident. I would actively go.
Overconfidence is your weakness.
I would actively go to make it win, which is weird for me because I'm not a big sports guy. But I think that we're getting to a point with like Star Wars and with our identification with media brands in entertainment that we like, that we're starting to wear them the same way people wear jerseys of their sports, of like that we're team Star Wars. And we might like Jurassic World, but then they're Team Dinosaur. We're Team Star Wars, and we need to win.
I like dinosaurs too. I just hated the movie.
You said something controversial, so we're going to move on to the next question, which is our cue.
That's shocking.
So do you think in the long run, will it unseat Avatar? in going with our sort of Team Star Wars theory that we're fans, we want it to win. Do we want it to unseat Avatar in the long run? Is the biggest selling movie ever?
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
really want that a lot.
Because Avatar is not a... Oh, God. See, I'm just going to get all the letters this week.
Don't worry about it. Especially with Avatar, this is one where I'm like, yeah, don't worry about it.
I think
Yeah.
Sam Worthington
Well,
needs to be taken down a peg.
I got
I'll
a
just
couple
say it.
of...
Damn it.
I got a couple of death threats for my Avatar review, which is still online, by the way.
Wow.
So, yeah. No, I absolutely wanted to unseat Avatar.
Okay.
Of course.
I assume that you are an Avatar unseater.
Well, I think it would be funny for two reasons, or good for two reasons. One, take Avatar down, and two, like George Lucas seemed to antagonize James Cameron so much. The fact that his franchise, now that he has nothing to do with it, could finally do that, I think is funny in a cosmic sort of way.
Yeah. Like the news breaks and we just cut to George Lucas on a porch, just rocking back and forth.
Right back, like unidentified liquid in a cup. Damn it.
So it is. And our final question.
Is the dark side clouding the judgment of super fans like us? Are we just too like, of course, Star Wars?
I'll admit there is a tiny, tiny little part of me that worries that it isn't going to live up to what I want it to be. But it's such a tiny part, and it's a norm. I think that's a normal thing to like just please don't suck, please don't suck. But I don't think it will. I mean, I think it's going to be amazing. So
Yeah.
Well, I saw two like employees at Target. They were stocking new Star Wars stuff, and one of them was complaining on, I told him we don't need all this stuff. It's not selling. And he was like, but nobody listens to me. And I was like, this guy's insane. And you could tell that the other guy stocking stuff with him was like, no one listens to you because you're crazy.
Yeah.
But he kept stocking. I went back like a day later just because I wanted to be right.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you'll make a trip
just to be right.
yeah.
And I came back the next day, all the stuff he'd stocked was gone.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, I really have a lot of faith that it's going to do really, really well. And, you know, if it doesn't break the box office, some executive's not going to get their bonus. Boo-hoo. It's still going to be a great movie, and
Right.
I think it's still going to, in the long run, be one of the biggest moneymakers ever. And I'm just excited to see it.
Yeah.
I don't really care what happens financially with it that much. I'm so into it that and so happy that it exists and that it's going to happen that I've already won.
Yeah.
You know,
that's great.
It's kind of the way I look at it.
I have no doubt it's going to be a great movie for Star Wars fans. I'm really interested to see if, like the original Star Wars, the sort of the thematic elements, the myth making sort of connects to us in that really deep way that the original Star Wars did with the audience.
Yeah. I feel like it has a
that.
greater potential to, you know, to be less just bogged down in the minutia and more the grandiose operatic storytelling, you know.
Yeah.
I think that just from the preview, it felt that way. You know,
Yeah.
it had that kind of vibe to it.
And they don't have to catch up to anything. Like the prequels all had to fit the puzzle places into position, whereas
Right.
this is like, well, what sort of a puzzle do we want to do now? So I think from a story perspective, they have all of the creative license
Not
that they
to
want.
mention, you know what else is crucial that's back now? Mystique.
Yeah,
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
like I'm looking in stores and seeing like Star Wars characters I've never heard of and know nothing about. I don't know if this is a good guy or a bad guy, but he looks cool. I haven't felt that way since I was a little kid.
Yeah, the mystery of,
You know?
yeah. And BB-8, I think, is a great example
Yeah.
of the power of that.
Exactly.
power of the dark side.
By the way, my friend Stephen Glickman, him and his buddy went out midnight and scored one of those, and his buddy was zipping it around, and the dog came by and crunched it.
Like, did he destroy BB-8?
He crushed him. Yeah.
Wow, what kind of a
Like,
dog was it?
It was like a
Chihuahua?
like a medium-sized. I'd imagine
Okay.
it wasn't a little tiny dog.
Wow.
He told me about it over the phone. I didn't get to actually see it.
That's so sad.
But I was like, that's wonderful and horrible at the same time because I didn't get one, so I was like a little happy about this news.
And on that tale of
Serves you right.
crushing a BB-8, we will move on from our topic of crushing the box office, which we all think The Force Awakens will do.
That's good.
So we're going to move on to a fun little game we've played before called Kiss, Marry, Kill. We don't swear here on Jedi Alliance, so it's Kiss, Marry, Kill. We have a couple of matchups. We're going to start with some droids. Some bounty hunters.
There you go.
So Kiss, Marry, Kill, Bosk, IG-88, Dengar. Let's start with you, Jenna.
Oh God.
Bosk, IG-88, Mark's favorite, and Dengar.
Oh, wow. God, this is a hard one.
I know.
I don't know. The bounty hunters, no.
You don't want to kiss any of them, do you? Is that the
No,
problem?
I don't.
Okay, but you have to. So we'll start. We'll walk
Not
through
Bosk.
it. You're not going to kiss Bosk.
No.
Understandable. You can kiss IG-88. He's
All
kind of like a giant vape pen, so your mouth can go on him.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
Since you
That
put it
was
that
the
way.
reasoning.
Sure. No, that worked. That worked for me. That worked
Kind
for
of
me.
juice does he have in him? Like that makes
Yeah.
all of the difference.
You're the big IG-88 fan. Do you think he's like apple cinnamon?
No, he seems just like a straight up like any sort of. I don't know vape, so I'm gonna make myself sound like an idiot by saying he tastes like average vape. I don't know.
Like smoke flavor.
Yeah, smoke. He's
Smoke
like
flavor.
he's gonna trick you into smoking real cigarettes anyway.
Nice.
Like
So
it's just like full
Yeah.
nicotine.
He starts from clove and then he goes to like unfiltered Lucky Strike from the 1930s.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like
Fair
it.
enough.
I like
Okay,
it.
so you're going to kiss IG-88, the vape pen. And now who are you going to marry or kill? Dengar or Bosk?
Marry Boss, kill Dengar. I don't know. This is a terrible decision. I feel like I want new cards.
Fair enough. All
Swipe
right.
the deck.
Your disgust is registered, Jenna Busch. And we'll move on to Mike. Bosk, IG-88, Dengar, kiss, marry, kill.
I keep thinking under all those bandages, maybe Dengar has a really hot body, but I doubt it. So
I think the phrase "under all those bandages" just instantly told you the answer to that.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I'd have to kill Dengar.
Apologies
Now
to the Jedi Alliance fan who has a Dengar tattoo.
Right. Yeah.
Oh.
I think I would actually kiss Bosk
Nice.
and marry IG-88 because it's like a free droid that kills people.
Yeah. Nice.
I think that's the way I would go.
Good to have around.
No, he'd be like the one. You would be the one that he saves in his destruction of the robot revolution.
yeah,
It's a
yeah.
really romantic, like Romeo and Juliet style thing. Like the chat is getting me. So we have from Star News in chat, kill Dengar because who likes him anyway?
Right.
It's just like I was gonna say kill Dengar to end the pain. Just the poor guy.
Put him out of his misery.
Again, just to be clear, we do have at least one fan who loves Dengar, who has Dengar tattoo, which is an impressive amount of
No,
love.
that's great.
Yeah.
For
It's just
but yeah, Dengar has become a real whipping boy.
I
Yeah.
feel bad for him, but I mean, IG-88, that's my boy. So I gotta marry him. Kiss Bosk. Why
Okay.
not?
And you're
Yeah.
going to kill Dengar.
I'm gonna kill Dengar.
Awesome. Okay, I think that I'm going to go pretty much... No, you know what? I'm going to save poor Dengar. I'm going to kiss Dengar. So he'll have that to remember. His lips are fine.
Oh.
says
I don't
Mike.
think they are.
Yeah.
I think they're very chapped.
Yeah, he has the most human lips of IG-88 and Bosk.
That's not a
Bosk,
bragging point.
Bosk, you might lose a tongue. He's got sharp little teeth.
That's true.
Dengar has
That's
nice
true.
I
nice
didn't say
teeth. So-
where I'd kiss Bosk. I didn't say.
Holy
I thought
wow.
we presumed on the cheek,
Yeah.
No,
Forehead.
I'm thinking full
nape
on
of the
lip.
neck.
Okay, I would kiss Dengar in the nape of the neck because it's
I would
just
do the
kissing
finger
him.
kiss.
Giant. All right, I'm gonna kiss Dengar.
Nightmares.
I am going to kill Bosk, and I'm going to marry IG-88 just to stay in step with my co-host Mark.
Well, now I know how to think about you.
This is taking a dark turn.
Oh, I got a nice back rub out of it though.
we
So I'm
love
gonna
it,
say
bro.
more nice things to Mark, so he will rub my back on the show.
That's what I'll do. All right, round 2. Kiss, marry, kill C-3PO, R2-D2, and BB-8.
Oh.
Man.
I would kiss BB-8. I would marry R2-D2, and I'd kill C-3PO. And I feel bad, but yeah, he talks a lot.
Oh, so you would murder C-3PO for not shutting up?
Yeah.
Understandable. And you're kissing BB-8, right?
Yeah.
And you're marrying R2-D2.
Uh-huh.
Just like our friend Bonnie Burton actually did.
Yes.
When she worked for Lucasfilm.
That's true. That's true. Bonnie would understand my feelings on this.
Yeah. And R2 seems like a really reliable spouse.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
He can do oil changes on my car.
Handy.
It's great.
All right, Mike.
I think, just going off shape, I would marry BB-8. I would,
Off of shape.
yeah,
No, just because he's the most pleasing shape?
most pleasing shape.
Okay.
He's a figure 8. He's
He's got...
yeah, he's curvy.
Right. Yeah.
Put a wig on him, you're all set.
the wig is going to get caught in his head as it tries to rotate around.
Well, you're focusing on the hole and not the donut. I would kiss.
Not gross, but it sounds really gross in the context of our discussion.
I would kiss R2 and kill 3PO.
Okay.
Same reason?
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to get much variation on these answers.
No.
So say you.
Yeah, go ahead, break the chain.
I was going, and this is really begrudging. As much as I love this guy, let me just cover his ears. I might have to go with kill him.
Ooh.
That's why I should take that home with me.
Well, I mean, I have to do the job, so I'm letting him get comfortable, and then when he least expects it. But
You're sending a dog after him?
I would kiss R2-D2 just because he's kind of like one of those guys, like old Vietnam veteran, please help in any way.
Yeah.
Something you would post on like Instagram, like help our veterans. And C-3PO's got a government job. That's somebody that I would marry. I wouldn't have to worry about paying for nothing. He'd get all of the credits. He's got a high-standing job. He works directly for royalty and senators and representatives and all of that. So it's like I can just piss off to the cantina, have myself a drink. It's like, don't worry, my droid's making all my money for me.
Yeah, and he smells nice.
And he smells nice.
He's your sugar daddy.
Yeah, essentially he's my sugar daddy. And at this point he's like 80, 90 years old, so that would make sense.
I would consider marrying BB-8, but have we heard his voice at all? I don't think so.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Just that display at Target. He sounds a lot like R2.
It's cute.
Yeah. But I haven't heard enough of his voice to know, and as a married person, I know it is important to enjoy the dulcet tones of your spouse, because I love my wife's voice, and I can't imagine living with somebody whose voice you just hate.
Yeah.
I'm for sure going to kill C-3PO, and it's between R2-D2 and BB-8 on the kissing and marrying. I think R2-D2 is just too good of a spouse. Anything he needs, he always has an appendage.
That's true. Oh. All right, then.
The word appendage is a powerful word. I meant nothing dirty, and yet, I will marry R2-D2 and all of his appendages and give a little kiss to BB-8 and see if his head falls off when I'm kissing him.
I mean, it just pops like right off, so like now I have a BB lightsaber. That's dangerous.
Okay, so our final round in Kiss, Marry, Kill: Chewbacca, Nien Nunb, Chewbacca, Nien Nunb, and Wicket.
Okay. I would kiss Wicket because he's a teddy bear. I would marry Chewbacca because he makes such cool noises. And Nien Nunb, I would have to kill.
The enemy of Ken Napzok.
Because Ken loves Nien Nunb.
It's not that I don't like him. It's
He
just
just
that
has to die.
He doesn't compare
Short
to
straw.
Chewbacca and Wicket.
Short straw.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mike?
Nien Nunb, I would make out with. He's got the lips.
Just pass kiss.
Yeah,
Just straight up smacking out.
You can't just give him a peck on the wide open double lips, right?
You gotta make out with him. He's got those sad eyes. If you don't make out with him, he's gonna hurt your feelings. Wicket, I would kill.
And be the enemy of the entire tribe of Ewoks.
Hating.
The rest of them will eat you.
Yeah.
They're going to do that anyway.
Yeah, they're going to try anyway, but that's why I'm married to Chewbacca, who will protect me from all of them single-handedly.
I don't know. I think C-3PO is the one that can protect you, and you already killed him.
And that's my boo, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I make bad relationship choices. Basically what this all comes
I think
down
you've
to.
made some solid ones.
Let the Wookiee break up with you. That is hard. I would say kiss Wicket.
It's so cute to picture.
Cute is a better word than what I would have used. I would, as if I'm living in this world, then I would have to kill Chewbacca because of what a danger he poses.
Oh.
And marry Nien Nunb. Because he's got a sweet ride. He can.
He is your co-pilot.
Yo, could I borrow the Falcon for a little bit? I just need to go for a quick ride with my husband and his droid husband to wherever they want to go.
Oh, well, that's nice. Yeah, I think I'm going to kill Wicket too.
That's just, I love these sentences that are coming out of all of it. I'm going to have to kill Wicked too.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
This is, again, just which one's going to get on my nerves the most with the noises. And, Wicked's wobbling around, kind of cute noises.
Freaking out about everything.
Yeah, freaking out about everything. Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah, that's true.
Wicked, I'd like to show you my new iPhone. All scared of it. We don't want that.
Throwing spears at the mailman and stuff. It's nonstop.
Stop it.
It's a rural life.
I want to marry Chewbacca, so yes, then I'm going to kiss Nine Nun, and I'm going to kiss him right on the whole lip, open face sandwich lower part of his face.
It does look like an
thing.
open face sandwich.
There's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on there.
There is.
Breaking news at Jedi Alliance. Nien Num looks like an open-faced sandwich. That's what you come here for, the entertainment. Something else that everybody comes here for is our weekly Duel of the Fates.
Will our music come so we may dance? There's our music, and we dance.
And this is the... Yes,
Dance,
this is
guests,
this is
dance.
And this has suddenly become a cruel dictatorship.
It is. I force people to dance.
I'm fine with
Every show, and I'm very happy
Last
about it.
episode's question was, does reading the extended universe books affect how you watch the films? And the general consensus, the general vote was yes, but they're not necessary to enjoy the movies. Like it expands. And I'll get to some comments, but what do you guys think about the expanded universe books?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I've read them. I love the expanded universe. I don't think I would have enjoyed the movies any less without them.
Mm-hmm.
I just like extra stuff.
Yeah.
I've read very few. I've only read like Shadows of the Empire and a couple
Yeah.
others, and like more of the comics and expanded universe, like video games and stuff. And really, all that's ever done for me is occasionally in a fight scene, I'm like, oh, that could have been done better. That could have looked cooler.
Oh, right.
Like I remember in episode 3, I thought by the final fight with Obi-Wan and Darth Vader,
Yeah.
he should have had a red lightsaber at that point because 2 blue ones just didn't look that cool against each
red
other.
against
Yeah.
lava.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there some sort of expanded universe media that you saw that made you think that?
Well, yeah, I was playing Jedi Outcast, I think it was, where you get to choose different color lightsabers,
right,
and they
right.
had like a black light one
Right.
Yeah.
that was really cool looking, and I was like, oh, I hope they do some of that in episode 3, and they didn't.
Okay, cool. Cool.
Yeah, I can understand
Yeah,
that.
I mean, I think it's totally about the quality of the books and the expanded fiction and how much it fights the movie. Anything that fights the movies sort of detracts for me.
Yeah.
But anything that's right in line with the movie, like I'm reading Lords of the Sith right now, which everybody has recommended. I'm halfway through it. It's great, and it has such great resonance with what's already in the movies that it does make me appreciate the movies more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely agreed. And we covered the aftermath, and hopefully we're going to get to a Lost Stars soon.
Awesome.
I have the book, just haven't had a chance to read it yet. We're trying to talk to Christian Harloff, who's a huge proponent of that book. Got a lot of people to buy it just on his accreditation on Twitter alone.
Cool.
From Facebook, we had Eric Coltis, who had kind of a certain point of view aspect on this. I view the expanded universe as choose your own adventure. When it comes to what is canon and what isn't, they can't tell me what is canon and what isn't. As a fan, it's my universe, damn it. I customize my expanded universe around the film, so I guess to answer the question, no, the expanded universe does not impact how I watch movies. The movies dictate what expanded universe I will accept.
Nice.
Okay,
From
yeah.
a certain point of view.
Yes, I think that's very well said. So this week's Duel of the Fates is, what is the best hand or arm removal in all of Star Wars? I know, it's a hard one.
No, you know what? It isn't for me. It isn't for me. Because for me, it's Luke. I mean, that's the one. That's the thing. I was little when I saw that. That was shocking.
Yeah.
That's the best one.
So is it just that it is the most iconic? Is it that it's the most has the most emotional power? The most famous, certainly.
I think it had the most emotional power for me. I'm not against other hand removal scenes. That was just the one that I was like, whoa, dude, whoa.
I love out of all of the potentially challenging things that you've said, you're being very political about the arm removal.
Well, I don't always say controversial things.
I know. I'm sorry for giving you a hard time.
I need a couple of nice comments.
You said a lot of things. It was just very funny that right as you're about to move on, you know who I don't like? Ah! Mike.
I mean like that.
For me, it was Ponda Baba in the cantina
Yeah.
getting his arm removed, because that was when Obi-Wan went from crazy old desert kook to Jedi and gave just a glimpse at what a Jedi was. And I was like, oh, these guys are pretty cool.
Yeah.
And like, that was the first moment where I was really like, oh, I'd like to be one of those, because up till then the lightsaber looked cool and everything, but you didn't really know what it could do until that happened,
Right?
And everyone in the bar was like, no,
And it's such a great
get away from that old dude.
such a great Jedi philosophy moment. It's like Jedi philosophy, like in a
Yeah.
nutshell, where he's like, come on, let me just buy you a drink. No? Okay, well then your arm's gone.
Yeah.
I tried. I started
Yeah.
with talking,
Yeah.
and 2 seconds later.
I can't take that scene seriously anymore ever since the robot chicken bit.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just like, hey man, I'm sorry about my friend. He's really drunk. It's got to be the Luke one. There's just a lot more story to it, whereas this one was literally slice, push, and like, oh, I guess he did it. Like there wasn't a lot of stakes
In which one?
in the Count Dooku Anakin
Oh,
Skywalker
right, the one that's up on the
image.
screen. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
But like that one was just like, well, I mean, it seemed like more of a decision where, well, I guess Luke had his arm cut off, and it's like poetry. It's like they rhyme, So, and it didn't really mean anything other than like a cool like erector set reveal at the wedding at the end of the movie.
I actually think it means a lot.
No, I agree with that, but it didn't hit me as much as
You
the
make a
original
really
did
solid
connected.
point too, because Hayden Christensen certainly didn't act like his arm just got chopped
just like-
off.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey,
Ow.
Wind's blowing through my hair.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I think like almost everything in the prequels, the idea of it is cool, but it could have been executed better.
Much better, yeah.
But I like that we get to see the beginning of his mechanization around the same
agreed.
time. I think Luke is absolutely the classic best one. I also like Luke taking off Vader's hand, because that also has the resonance of seeing the machinery that starts when Dooku cuts his arm off. But I think just to be controversial, I'm going to go with Anakin removing Count Dooku's hands, because it is one of the
That one was
coolest
pretty cool,
lightsaber
yeah.
moves we ever see,
Yeah.
where he grabs his wrists, holds him, and cuts both of his hands off.
Yeah, that was
And
pretty
like
cool.
Dooku's a powerful guy. We've seen that, and it's really cool for him just be like, I gotta just stop you right now. So I'm gonna cut both of them off
Yeah.
at the same time,
Just in
in
case
a
you're
really cool
left-handed.
move. And I'm gonna cut them off so hard that one of them actually flies upward.
There was just some PA on the floor, just like.
Because
Just tossing his hand up.
Don't hit Christopher Lee in the head with that.
Why you?
Absolutely. Okay, well, so we'll put this up tomorrow on our Facebook page for Jedi Alliance, and the fans will weigh in, and it will be great.
But in the meantime, where can the folks find you on Twitter, and what any projects you got coming up?
I'm always at Mike Black Attack on all social media, and that's it. I'm at the Comedy Store a lot. Check the Comedy Store website for me.
Awesome. Jenna?
I'm at Jenna Busch, BUSCH, like the beer, not the president. I'm that everywhere. I am Legion of Leia everywhere. Legion
Jenna
of-
is Legion.
I am Legion. No, and there's a new Legion of Leia podcast that goes up on Legion of Leia every Thursday. And the new book, Star Wars Psychology, Dark Side of the Mind, can be pre-ordered on Amazon right now. Most Craved goes up every week on Crave Online, Superhero Hype, ComingSoon.net, and Legion of Leia on Thursdays. I think that's it for now.
Awesome.
That's it. That's great.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you.
You can find me on all my social media at Joseph Scrimshaw. I have another podcast that's on the Feral Audio Network that is called Obsess. You can check that out. I've got a bunch of different little stand-up shows coming up here in Los Angeles. You can find those at josephscrimshaw.com/live-shows. And the last thing to plug is my new album that is Star Wars themed called Rebel Scum is available. You can also find that on my website at josephscrimshaw.com.
And I'm the Internet Soapbox Mark Donica. You can find me here. I'm at Popcorn Talk. I'm at AfterBuzz TV. This is where I spend my days. We just started a Moonbeam City after show, and we're going to get a lot of the crew on that. There's a lot of fun stuff happening at the studio, so make sure to follow us at the Popcorn Talk Network and at AfterBuzz TV. And Joseph, go ahead and read that wonderful outro that we have.
Thank you, Mark. Will you rub my back while I'm doing
will
it?
do that.
See if
Here
it
you
comes
go.
out smooth? Oh, thank you for for watching and or listening to Jedi Alliance. You can watch the show on YouTube by subscribing to youtube.com/Popcorn Talk Network. Catch the Jedi Alliance on iTunes, and please rate and review and rub my back. You can also visit Popcorn
Rub my
Talk.
back, I'll rub yours.
You can also visit, like Mark just said, popcorntalknetwork.com to find a nice list of all of the past episodes of Jedi Alliance with links to both iTunes and YouTube. Please also follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Jedi Alliance for all the us-related news. This has been Jedi Alliance on the Popcorn Talk Network. We talk movies. Thank you for listening, because many Bothans died to bring us this information.
For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network. The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only, and not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.